What's going on, everybody? Today I'm going to show you how to use your laser and some basic woodworking skills to make a shark fridge magnet puzzle. I don't know if anybody else makes these. They're probably out there somewhere. I just thought it was a cool idea and something I could totally do now that I have the laser. You could always do this with a jigsaw and good old-fashioned woodworking skill. But hey, the laser's going to make this a lot quicker so that all we have to do is the magnet work. So this is a piece of African mahogany. It's a little bit on the lighter side. It's an offcut from those mobile phone amplifiers that we make. You can check those out on our Etsy. I'll drop a link in the description. So in our program XCS, we are going to load up our file. If you want to see how I made this file, go ahead and drop me a comment asking for a video on it. I don't mind making a video on it, but I don't want to get into it here. So you can see this is actually two different files, or two different images maybe I should say. One is a line that is going to engrave. That's the top here, see just the shark design. And then this other one in blue is, or purple, is actually going to cut. That's the cut file. So you'll see the settings in the bottom right reflect that appropriately. All right, so we're getting ready to make our first cut, but before we do that, we should make a test cut. So I'm going to use the preloaded shapes in XCS to come over here and grab an oval. I'm going to go ahead and draw that. And then what I'm going to do is place that in the upper left, somewhere out of the way on this piece, so that I can make sure I'm going to get all the way through the board and, give myself a better chance of not wasting any material. Let's turn that power up to 100. We're going to turn the speed down to 3, and we're going to do 2 passes. The thickness that we're going to enter is about 6 millimeter. I don't ever use the auto measure on this device. I just don't find it to be accurate. I can talk about that more in a different time, I guess. But yeah, I like to measure things myself. This piece is about 6 millimeters, so we'll go ahead and enter that. So let's go ahead and cut this oval and see if we get all the way through. All right, here we go. This is 2 times speed. A little bit of scorch there on the lower left. That can happen at the lower speeds with the laser. I don't have the air assist kit in yet because I'm a bit of a clown. I've been taking my time on that. Just haven't had the time really. So you can see we are through and the piece is scorched. So we can probably even turn down the settings a little bit, go faster with the laser. And let's try another little circle with some new settings. Make sure we get through on those, and then we'll make the cut. Because if we can make this cut faster, that'll be better. So this is what your Xtool M1 is going to tell you after a few cuts, or a few dozen. Depends on how smoky everything is. You got to clean the laser module every now and again. We're going to have to do that soon. We don't want to run this thing too many times before we clean that, or it could actually damage the laser diode. Alright, so I made a mistake here. I got so wrapped up in filming and trying to dial in the perfect settings for this mahogany to save myself time when I go to cut the shark that I forgot to clean the laser module. So you're going to see me attempt this shark with the final settings now, and yeah, we'll see what happens. I ended up running this first attempt on speed 7 with 3 passes at 100% power. You can see that I'm using the camera that's on board with the Xtool to position this thing where I have not made test cuts already. I really like that it lets you do that. The camera's super helpful. So I'm just going and making sure that the engraving itself is nice and bold. If there is any scorch on this piece, then I'm going to want to sand that off, and I'm going to want that engraving there to be deep enough so that it won't fade when I do the sanding. So here we go, we hit play. Laser is starting with the outline of the engraving, and it's going to come in and do the details, and then it is going to move on to the cutting process. You'll see the laser head start to move a lot slower for the cutting part. The engraving with this machine is super fast. So this whole clip is running at double speed, 200%. So there we go. So there's the cutting. So you can see we're getting a little bit of scorch there. It's no big deal. We can always go and sand that off later. Sometimes you'll see this happen more as the laser does multiple passes. Looks like we got some scorch, but that's okay. It should sand off fine. Once we get the air assist module finally installed on this thing, that should go away. Hopefully these will pop out. Ooh. Yeah, that is a fail. So I actually ended up breaking this trying to get it out, so we're gonna have to run that again. Okay, I suspect that we need to clean the laser module. The reason I suspect that is because the machine told me that I need to clean the laser module. So I'm going to clean the laser module. This is how I do it. Just take a cotton ball, put it on, take the cap off, just invert this, get the cotton ball saturated just a little bit. You don't need much. And then you can use the front camera on your phone and you can lay your phone down here. You can take this tray out of the way. I'm going to do it the quick way, and I know where the laser lens is. It's basically smack in the middle of this, maybe slightly to the right. So I'm going to hit that quick, and you'll see the difference. Well, hopefully we'll see the difference when we make our next cut. I'm going to make the same cut with the same exact settings and see what the difference is. Hang on, let me get this cotton ball saturated. Okay. All right, ready? Go right under here. It's right about there. A couple gentle wipes. You can see there's all that scuzz. Ew. Alright, I ran the file again after cleaning the laser module, and I can see instantly there's a lot less scorch on the piece. Hopefully that means the laser penetrated a little deeper and we got some clean cuts. So now the moment of truth, we will see if this pops out. Oh, that's a good sign. It just dropped right through. Excellent. So let's go ahead and take this all the way out, and this one should be a success. We'll just have to do some sanding to get that scorch off. Just taking my time with it. Don't want to break anything. Also trying to do it one-handed and hold the camera like a fool, but that's okay. We'll get it. Okay, we did it. Should look even better once I get that air assist module in. I know I keep talking about it and not installing it, so maybe that's the next video. Some of these are still stuck after we... What I'm going to do quickly is take some time with some sandpaper, go around the edges, knock any char off, and then get the surface here to get that scorch off. Alright, here we are at the workbench. Just going to hit these with 220 grit sandpaper real quick. Okay, those are all sanded up, so now I'm going to drill holes in the back, and I got these tiny little magnets that I'm going to put in there. Depending on how they match up with the drill bits that I have, I'm either going to friction fit them with a mallet, just pound them in there, or I will glue them with epoxy. Alright, over to the drill press. I'm going to put a 1/8 inch brad point bit on here instead of this beefy guy that's on there now. And I'm going to take a piece of scrap wood and test the fit of the magnet first, and get a feel for the depth that I should be drilling with the bit. Remember, we want that magnet to be either just proud of the surface or flush with the surface. We don't really want it to be recessed at all, because then its hold won't be as strong. So at this point I lost a little bit of footage. Sorry about that. It's really just me drilling all these pieces and then gluing them in with epoxy. Luckily, I just dropped a video of how to do basic magnet work, so we can use a clip from that to show you the process. Basically, you're going to mix this epoxy up and put it in the holes and drop the magnet in. Here's an example on some toy cars.
So we're going to use this epoxy from Gorilla. It's a two-part epoxy. They're in two separate chambers. You press the plunger and it comes out and you mix it up. Pretty easy to use. You don't need much at all. Whoop. I like to pull the plunger back a little bit to stop it from slowly leaking out. Save this little cap that comes with it if you can. Take a toothpick or a craft stick or something. Mix this up until it looks silvery. It's looking good. So you get about 5 minutes to work with this stuff, hence the name 5-minute epoxy. So let's get a good glob in here. There we go. So drop that right in there. So the last step was just hitting each piece very quickly with this stuff. I used cutting board oil. I'd recommend any type of oil-based finish that applies really quickly for a job like this. I like the cutting board oil because I know it's food safe. It's a kitchen item, you know, it's a magnet, but it's going on the fridge, kitchen item, whatever. I used food safe cutting board oil.
Overall, I really like how this came out. It's actually pretty fun, and I can see kids really enjoying standing at the refrigerator and solving these. I think it could make a great craft fair item. I will let you guys know. All right, thanks for joining us. Until next time, peace.